There are certain wounds that don't always look like wounds. They don't come with visible scars. They don't always show up as memories we can easily point to. Sometimes they show up as the constant need to prove yourself, the inability to receive love, the fear of disappointing people, the feeling that you always have to be strong, the difficulty expressing emotions, the discomfort when someone gets too close, or maybe even the belief that your worth is tied to your achievements. And sometimes, underneath all of this, there is a story that began long before you were aware of it. A story passed down through generations. A story written through silence, survival, emotional suppression, and unhealed pain. Today, we are talking about something that many people experience but rarely have the language to describe: the father wound. Welcome to Let's Talk. I'm Preeti, and this is a space where we embrace the real, the messy, and the beautiful parts of being human. A space for honest conversations around healing, self awareness, emotional growth, and becoming more connected with ourselves. And today, we are exploring a question that might feel uncomfortable but can also be deeply freeing. What if some of the things you struggle with today were never really about you? What if they were echoes of something that was never healed before you arrived? When we hear the words father wound, many people immediately imagine an absent father, someone who wasn't physically there, someone who left, someone who was emotionally unavailable. And yes, sometimes this is a part of the story. But the father wound is much broader than physical absence. A father can be present in the home and still feel emotionally unavailable. A father can provide everything materially, but struggle to provide emotional safety. A father can love his child deeply, but never learned how to express love. Because many fathers are not emotionally unavailable because they don't care. They are emotionally unavailable because nobody taught them how to be emotionally available. And this is where generational trauma enters the conversation. Many men were raised with messages like, don't cry, be strong, handle it yourself, feelings make you weak. Your job is to provide, not to express. And when someone grows up believing emotions are dangerous or unacceptable, they often pass that same emotional language or lack of emotional language to the next generation. Not because they want to hurt their children, but because unhealed wounds tend to repeat themselves until someone becomes conscious enough to heal them. Let's talk about silence. Because sometimes silence becomes its own language. A child doesn't only listen to what a parent says, a child observes. How does my father handle stress? How does he respond when he's angry? Can I come to him when I'm scared? Does he comfort me when I fail? Does he celebrate me? Do I feel accepted when I'm not perfect? Children are constantly asking, am I safe? Am I loved? Am I enough? And when those questions don't receive a reassuring answer, the child begins creating their own explanation. Maybe, if I achieve more, I'll finally be worthy. Or, if I don't make mistakes, I'll be accepted. If I don't need anything, I won't be disappointed. If I become perfect, nobody can reject me. And these beliefs can follow us into adulthood. One of the most fascinating things about emotional wounds is that they don't always create weakness. Sometimes they create achievement, sometimes they create perfectionism, sometimes they create people who appear incredibly successful from the outside. Because underneath achievement, there can be sometimes an unconscious belief like, I need to prove myself, I need to show everyone I matter, I need to become someone nobody can ignore. And this is why many high performers struggle privately. They are successful, they are accomplished, they are disciplined, but internally they are exhausted. Because they aren't only chasing success, they are chasing safety, validation, They are trying to heal a younger version of themselves who wondered, why wasn't I enough? Let's bring neuroscience into this. When a child grows up, experiencing emotional unpredictability, criticism, rejection, or emotional absence, their nervous system learns to adapt. The brain's primary job is survival. So it starts creating patterns: hypervigilance, constant scanning, being alert all the time, overthinking, difficulty trusting, fear of vulnerability, avoiding emotional intimacy. The nervous system says, if I stay alert, I won't get hurt again. The problem is that the strategies that protected us as children may limit us as adults. The child who learned, I cannot rely on anyone, may become the adult who struggles to receive support. The child who learned, my feelings are too much, may become the adult who suppresses emotions. The child who learned, I need to earn love, may become the adult who struggles to believe they are lovable without achievement. Healing begins when we stop asking, what is wrong with me, and start asking, what happened to me? Because your patterns are not random, they are actual adaptations. There was once a younger version of you who created these strategies because they were needed. Maybe there was a little boy who wanted his father to notice him, to say, I'm proud of you, I see you, you don't have to be perfect. You can make mistakes and still be loved. And maybe that little boy never heard those words. So today, healing means learning how to offer them to yourself, not replacing your father, not denying what happened, not pretending everything was okay, but creating a new relationship with yourself. Breaking generational trauma does not mean blaming the previous generation. It means becoming conscious, becoming aware, and awareness creates choice. You can honor where you came from while choosing where you go next. You can say, my father gave me what he knew how to give, and I can learn what he was never taught. I can become emotionally available. I can communicate. I can express. I can create safety. I can choose differently. The most powerful thing about healing is that it doesn't only transform your life, it transforms the lives of everyone who comes after you. Your healing becomes a gift to your future generations. I want to leave you with some questions to sit with. Not questions to judge yourself, questions to understand yourself. Take a moment and maybe write these down. What emotions were encouraged in my childhood? Which emotions were discouraged? What did I learn about love from watching my father? Did I feel safe expressing my needs? What part of myself am I still trying to prove is worthy? What patterns do I want to make sure I don't pass forward? Healing the father wound is not about rewriting the past. We cannot change what happened, but we can change the relationship we have with what happened. We can stop carrying the pain unconsciously. We can stop allowing old stories to decide our future. The greatest form of resilience is not pretending we won't hurt. It is having the courage to say, this happened, it affected me, but it does not define me. Because your story did not begin with your wounds. Your story began with your capacity to heal. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this conversation touched something within you, share it with someone who may need to hear it. And remember, healing is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to the person you were before you learned you had to hide. Until we meet next time, have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.